True. All right. There's not one, but 3 hurricane recovery efforts going on right now. Plus North Korea, plus Las Vegas. It's terrible. It's easy to sit on Jimmy's couch yakking about how she'd solve all our problems so much better than this guy. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Shut up! But that wasn't the most nauseating part. That happened later when Jimmy Fallon's writers came out and read thank you notes to Hillary for over 6 minutes. We're going to show you the shortened version. The long version could melt your flesh into a hot puddle.
Thank you, Hillary Clinton, for being the first female presidential candidate nominated by a major party.
For handling this difficult transition with more grace than I ever could have imagined. That being said, call me day or night and I will be there with a gallon of ice cream and 2 spoons to tell you, girl, you are so much better than him.
For always sticking to the issues, even as people criticize you for superficial things like your hair, your wardrobe, and your appearance. You showed girls everywhere that politics isn't a popularity contest, because if it were, you would have won by about 3 million votes.
For standing up to critics who said that a woman couldn't be president because they'd be too emotional, impulsive, and unpredictable. So glad we didn't end up with someone like that.
Wow, that was bad. I mean, really bad. I mean, worse than bad, maybe awful. So they gave thank you notes to Hillary, and later they sent cease and desist letters to Bill. I think we can all agree that if there is a hell, that segment will be playing in an innermost circle of it for all of eternity. I mean, if you had to choose between that and a 3-inch live cricket burrowing deeply into your ear canal, you would take the cricket and his family. But I don't get it. Shouldn't these young women be reading Hillary the Riot Act instead of thank you notes? Oh, boo-hoo baloney. It was her candidacy that helped elect Donald Trump, you distressed damsels. Talk about the world's first losing tour. Parades are usually for the victorious, but this is a never-ending procession of pathetic cop-outs and self-righteous regrets. Never has one person made so much out of doing so little. So is she driven by bitterness over her loss, or is it all about greed to gin up book sales? There is an upside, but it's for her husband, Bill. While she's on tour, he's on a hostess. She'll be... I'm not done. But I'm not done. She'll be signing books. He'll be signing breasts. She'll read a passage. He'll be trying to enter one. But as annoying as this is, remember this. Wouldn't you rather have her on a tacky couch than in the Oval Office? This is a small price to pay to keep from hearing this every day.
Now, having said all this, why aren't I 50 points ahead, you might ask?
Oh, we have. It never gets old. As long as she's on TV and not in the White House, I'll always be proud to say I'm with her. Let's welcome tonight's guest. He's so sharp, you'll get splinters if you go near him. Author, political commentator, and host of The Mark Steyn Show, Mark Steyn. On the outside, he's a Ken doll. On the inside, G.I. Joe, tougher than a well-done steak in trigonometry class. Fox and Friends co-host, Pete Hegseth. Her glasses can be seen from space. National Review reporter Kat Timpf. Finally. Pour some water in his footprint and you got a swimming pool. Former bodyguard and my massive sidekick, Tyrus. All right. Mark Steyn, I was watching this. I thought it was a meta skit that Fallon was pulling on everybody, and then I realized it wasn't.
No.
What did you make of this?
Well, these are supposed to be comedy writers.
Yes.
Is that these are comedy writers?
Yes.
I've never given. I don't give a lot of advice on writing, but the one thing I said years ago to some interview is you should always be able to see the comedy in your own side. And I don't know what happened to these people that they can't. I mean, Hillary, actually what I thought was going to happen, because normally when politicians go on these shows, they do jokes. And you remember the last time I was on, I said how much I liked Hillary telling jokes, because she does the bobble-headed thing.
Yes.
And I looked up one of the ones she did during the campaign, which was a great joke. Hillary actually did this before at a fundraiser, in fact. She goes, I hear some man just invented Pokemon Go. I'm waiting for someone to invent Pokemon Go to the polls. Give it up! And I don't understand how professional paid comedy writers, when you've got this hotshot comedian in front of you, are still doing these drippy with this like limpid piano music.
I thought the piano was what made it for me. No, but when she used to tell jokes, the punchline was like a frisbee in the desert. You could just see it coming at you from a.
No. It's like a plane at LaGuardia taking 40 minutes to go from the gate to the runway. You can see it. You can see it. And the pilot is saying, Hillary's punchline is 18th for takeoff. And that's how it is when Hillary tells a joke. That timing, Kat, is brilliant.
Right, well, Kat, what did you make of her performance and the whole thing? Well, you are a female writer.
I sure am. A female and a writer.
That's two full-time occupations.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know what really grinds my gears about this, Greg?
What?
Is that you hear people say, Fox News won't stop talking about Hillary. Hillary won't stop talking about Hillary. It's like if you have a friend, it's like my ex-boyfriend won't stop texting me. It's like, well, you texting him back? And she's like, well, I'm actually texting him first, but he keeps replying to me. It's the same exact thing. And if you're going to be on this little set where people are writing thank you notes to a loser, it is my civic duty to make fun of that.
Yes, exactly. Pete, it's easy to laugh at this, but I do believe that they were earnest in their letters.
They were completely earnest.
Yes, they really were.
In fact, that is the expose of, save for Fox News Channel, every single newsroom in this city is full of male and female writers who are lock, stock, and barrel progressive liberals who pretend to be journalists and give us news that is unbiased. When in actuality, they are complete leftists writing jokes about Republicans who can't actually laugh at themselves and the worst candidate they've ever run in history. And on the Miley Cyrus thing, when I first watched it, I thought this has got to be a joke. Is she pretending to cry so she can end it with a punchline? She was actually the woman who taught us to twerk. Is crying about Hillary Clinton.
I think Tyrus is going to disagree.
Hell no.
Who taught us to twerk?
It wasn't nobody named Molly Cyrus. I'll tell you right now. Her name was like Yvette Johnson. No damn Molly Cyrus. Look,
you've never written me a thank you note.
And just wait for it. You got something to look forward to. Here's the thing. This is our fault, Greg.
Yeah, is it?
This is Mr. President Trump's fault. Your fault.
Why?
My fault. Y'all's fault.
Why?
When you win, you win. And you don't say nothing to the dude you knocked out in the ring.
That's true.
You move on. We keep we're punching down. We talked about in the back. We're punching down. Every time we hear, bop, loser. Bop.
She started it.
No, we won. We ended it when we won. And we're still playing with her. And she was dragging lady, and she couldn't get on those talk shows and stuff because everyone, even her other side was like, Hillary, darling, would you please just go away? But we keep punching at her. I'm not saying nothing about her no more because she went from dragging lady to grandma on that segment. And all those little crying hearts and stuff, you're starting something. You go from kicking somebody's ass till it's overkill, and then now it's your fault. You keep bagging on her.
Wait a second.
You all watch. This is going to come back and bite us all in the butt.
I'm going to continue
We're keeping her relevant. This is our fault.
Tyrus. She keeps going around with this loser tour.
When I was 3, I was told if I didn't like someone to play, I ignored them. Right? You ignore somebody, eventually they go away. But if you keep responding,
How is that fun?
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Okay. You got a Russian probe going around and you keeping her relevant. I said it reminded on this date here.
Russia?
Watch it.
Tyrus,
Watch it.
I got a great segment out of this. Thank you very much. Those letters are the best thing on TV.
Yeah, they are.
They really are.
You are. You're changing our image.
Do you want to, no, that did not change any image.
Why did Miley Cyrus, I mean, I'd forgotten about the twerking. Wouldn't you like to have seen her teach Hillary how to twerk?
No.
Wait, come on. Yes, I would have. That would be great. Too.
You know what I would like to see before we leave? I would like to see, this happened on, happened on Thursday or Friday? Happened on Friday. President Trump pronouncing Puerto Rico.
We are also praying for the people of Puerto Rico. We love Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico.
We love you.
And we also love Puerto Rico.
I don't understand, but it makes me laugh. I don't know. All right, coming up. Late night comics can't stop lecturing you on gun control. I guess it beats writing jokes. All right, watch any late night TV host and it becomes clear they share the same script or the same brain.
They say it's inappropriate to be talking about it because it's too soon. Well, maybe it's too soon for you because deep down inside, you know, in your heart, you know you bear some responsibility.
They always say that a gun tragedy is never the right time to talk about stopping the next gun tragedy.
I'm sorry that we live in a world where there are people who will put a gun before your lives.
So as they echo similar emotions minus the facts, some impugn you if you offer statistics that deflate their case. As the media acts as if you're trying somehow to silence them, is this silence?
The bar is so low right now that Congress can be heroes by doing
about it
literally
because it's too soon.
Not silence. But I prefer facts when it comes to guns. But other hosts, they don't. So why is that? First, you're in entertainment to be loved. And all that attention that you get from saying this stuff just encourages you to do it more. It's a drug that makes up for something. Second, they don't know any better. One night of reading could disabuse them of their biases, but don't hold your breath. Third, it's a class thing. Celebs and media already look down on gun owners. It's the South, Republicans, Trump voters. If you like the Second Amendment, you must be a toothless hick who fries squirrels with your half-sister on a date. Finally, they feel guilty about the role they play in a culture that thrives on glorified violence. They hate guns, except when they make them money. So after all the emotions evaporate, all you got are facts. Vegas was a well-planned mass execution by one man in a sea of 7 billion people. One fiend who created a larger impact than his life deserves, affecting thousands. We need to make such infamy meaningless. Reduce that media footprint. That's why we didn't show his face tonight. But it's going to happen again, and it could be worse. Terror thrives on a learning curve. This event just taught terrorists a thing or two. The Fiend's targets, they were all open-air venues. We need to get ahead of this. Not just about bump stocks, but barriers. Embrace security. Prevent such attacks with new technology. Could a swarm of drones shield us against a terrorist at an outdoor concert? That seems plausible. This is where solutions come from, not from comics armed with emotions, but adults armed with knowledge. Last, it's got to be hard for you to be lectured by well-protected celebrities who exist in the rarefied air of Bel Air or Upper Manhattan with no need for firearms. Their security team is strapped. You don't have that luxury. The people that I don't mind when people express their emotional anger or whatever partisan side that they take. Yeah. But I don't like it when they impugn your motives. When Kimmel says, well, it makes you feel bad because he knows that you're guilty.
You value a gun more than a life.
Right.
So, no, maybe I actually value my life and the lives of my family, and that's why I own many guns, not just one gun. when you're in a tough situation, either you take initiative or you don't. And you know, a lot of folks don't live in the middle of a city where the cops on every street corner. You live where there's a county sheriff who's 10 minutes away, and you make a phone call, and you either have that moment or not. The left will always exploit. Rahm Emanuel said, you know, never pass an opportunity or a crisis to advance your agenda. They will continue to do that. And this is another example. Listen, I don't know why the Republicans, conservatives, the NRA should never retreat on this issue. This is a country of gun owners who have it for a reason, because we are free people in a free society. And unfortunately, in a free society, it allows a maniac like this guy to maniacally plan something like this and execute it. You can't policymaker your way out of everything. You need to stand by your principles.
Tyrus, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the people voicing these opinions live in areas that are well protected. Like if you're in a studio, you're surrounded by guys with guns. And the rest of America, they're living in places where it takes a while for the cops to get there. That doesn't happen where they are.
Well, I think...
I mean, you're a bodyguard.
Right, and you know, and it's funny because most of the time I never carried a piece, because seeing the piece on me usually made guys jump faster. So I would have a smaller guy like your size who would carry the gun, because they would focus on me and hit blasts. No, that's real talk. That's why I did it. My boy Rico was your height.
Really?
Nobody saw him, and if they did see him, it was the last thing they saw. So I won't, but I'm thanking God his ass had a 45.
Yeah.
I don't think we should ever have the conversation about regulating Americans owning guns. That's our right.
Yeah.
And you can't take that away. I do think, though, if you want to own 50 guns and you want to have a warehouse full of bullets, then maybe there should be some form of registering, or maybe the FBI steps in at some point and be just checking to see why you have this many, you know, if it's extreme, you know what I'm saying?
Who draws that?
And that's the conversation. Where do we draw the line? What do we think is acceptable? Me personally, 50 seems, that seems like a good number, you know, but because I only got two hands, you know, so.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't want someone telling me what I can and cannot own. I own guns. Right. My friends own guns. But, you know, I think there's something to be in there. But we have to be careful, because we live in a time where people don't really want to fix problems. Because you made a great point. Defense. If we make, like, look, because there's an argument about the trucks, you know, the truck and knife and all that kind of stuff. Well, when the situation happened with the planes, TSA, everything changed.
Right.
The airports changed. You had to go through annoying security. But we haven't had an incident.
Yeah.
So maybe our hotels,
I think you're right,
knowing security.
I think that
they scan your bag. I know it's a pain in the ass, but it's hard for him to get 10 bags of guns in when there's a guy going, sir, what's this? Oh, sorry, you're going to jail.
No, I think you're right. I actually think that. I know a lot of people, Mark, are complaining about that, about the fact that they're going to go into casinos and they're going to put up but it works.
Creates jobs too.
Yeah, but eventually people are going to resent that. If everything you do, you got to go through a security checkpoint. You made a good point that you thought it was, you know, Bel Air and Midtown Manhattan condescending to the South. I'd also say I think it's these celebrities, late night guys, it's the rest of the world condescending to America. Because I notice about some of these late night guys, you got Trevor Noah, you got, what's he called? James Corden, you got John Oliver. And I don't know about you guys, but if there's one thing I really can't stand, it's like some snot-nosed foreigner with some weirdo accent telling you guys what's wrong with your country. And I don't know. And as I'm the only snot-nosed foreigner without my own late-night show, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. But these guys, I don't know why Americans put up with it. Why do you what's the point of July the 4th, 1776, if you got all these British Commonwealth guys like Trevor Noah and John Oliver hogging up your airtime?
It's true. I like that you argued against your own opinion. Kat, last word. What do you think? What do you make of this? Where do you want to go?
Whenever a tragedy like this happens, it always splits into the people who argue against the Second Amendment protections, the people that argue for the protections. But the Second Amendment is the argument, okay? Leftists always want to say we have to get all the guns off the streets and, you know, it's obsolete. The Second Amendment obsolete. No, it isn't. It's not obsolete until 2/3 of both houses and 3/4 of states agree that it is, or the Constitutional Convention method as detailed in Article 5. That's how we do things here, okay? It's just either the Constitution protects your freedoms or it doesn't, so you have to respect it. I'm fine for sensible gun control, but you have to look at it through a constitutional lens, and getting rid of all guns is not constitutional.
And I'm emotional about it, so I'll take your Constitution and set it aside.
All right, still to come, President Trump just surpassed Pope Francis in Twitter followers. We'll discuss what this means, which is probably nothing. Vatican? More like Vatican't. Thanks. All right, we're done here. This week, President Trump surpassed an important milestone. He has more Twitter followers than any world leader, including the holiest of tweeters, Pope Francis. The record was made after Trump's personal Twitter account, @RealDonaldTrump, passed 39.7 million followers. That's more than the Pope's nine different Twitter accounts combined. For more on this, we sought comment from Pope Francis himself.
Penso alle realtà.
I congratulate President Trump on his impressive Twitter following, but I urge all good people to watch the Greg Gutfeld show. It's my favorite, and it will be yours too.
That's quite an endorsement. Thank you so much, Pope. I take back everything I said. All right, Tyrus, I have problems with Twitter.
You do have problems.
No, I think there's the guys with the verified blue check who creates this assumption that they're better than people who don't have the blue check.
Really? It's all I have, Greg.
Look, man, I thought it was to stop catfishing and saving vulnerable brothers from talking to women who are really men. That's what I thought. I mean, damn, I didn't, it was a class thing. I love my blue check, and I like to make sure most people I'm talking to is who I'm talking to. That's what I thought it was for.
You showed up for coffee that day, and it was actually Jesse Waters.
Yeah, and there's that awkward, and you can't leave because then it'd be like, LOL, he showed up. So you got to stay there and just be like, how am I going to get out of this? How am I going to get out of this? Yeah, I'll have, cappuccino or whatever just to get through the thing. But
is this a big deal?
That he's beating the Pope?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, we all like the circus more than church. So,
Ooh, nice.
I mean, it is. Our politics, that's what it is right now. I mean, every time he comes out, he's like Clint Eastwood, man. It's You ever have a Donald Trump speech right now where it was boring?
Never.
I know.
And he came out.
I can't understand the Pope.
We're the calm before the storm. The media's like, oh! What does he mean?
He just trolled planet Earth.
Yeah, I mean, he literally was just like, I'm with the military. I'm a badass. Check it out.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Kat, is Twitter an actual reflection of our society?
Unfortunately, in many ways, I think it is.
Really?
Sometimes. I mean, for Twitter specifically, though, it's the one place where you're not going to be like, okay, the people I want to follow and associate with aren't the nicest or most pious people. That's not what you're looking for. You're looking for interesting. Okay, there's a reason why nuns don't have reality shows. Not that nuns aren't amazing. I would watch that. I was raised very Catholic. We went on a week-long family vacation to a Catholic wilderness retreat, and there was no running water, but those nuns were dope, and I still had a wonderful time. But you look for the whoa dude factor when you're following someone on Twitter, and there's no one whoa dudeier, if you will, than President Trump on social media.
I got to tell you, what bothers me about the Pope, Pete? It's all the pontificating.
You deserve that.
The pontiff? Is that?
Yeah. I would think you'd be more upset that he has 9 catfish accounts. I mean, What is he doing with all those accounts?
What is that?
I'm just proud of my stupid joke. Let me wallow in it.
I find the Pope's, for starters, that he is one real blue check accounts I find odd. And then I find it, Jesus, I think this is Gospel according to Matthew, chapter 4. And Jesus saith unto them, follow me. I mean, it's right there in black and white. What is the Pope up to?
It's true. Joey, his different Twitter addresses because they're all in different languages, I was just told.
Fair enough.
Yes.
And God obviously follows the Pope, so he's got a big one there, and the president as well. He's got a direct line. I would note, though, it's Twitter, right? So we're talking about world leaders. If you add together the Pope and Donald Trump, they're still 20 million short of Justin Bieber.
Yeah, that's true.
Which Justin Bieber has 100 million Twitter followers. The president has 40 million. I mean, it is the world.
And God follows Bieber as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it's like your late night shows. It's Canadians, English, South Africans. It's the same thing. It's like, as I said, 1776 never happened. Justin Bieber beats the Pope and Trump combined. Go Canada.
Is Twitter annoying to you because everyone tries to be a comedian on it?
It's just annoying.
Yeah.
No, it's the opposite. Politicizing you, if you say something about that's common, like, hey, it's really nice outside, not like the deficit. You know, it's like, I hate when they politicize.
I tweeted something about sparkling water the other day, and someone's like, water, you should be drinking liberal tears. It's like, why is my bubbly water tweet political to you
But
people?
at least with Twitter, they can't go on and on. Instagram and Facebook, damn.
Yeah.
I love y'all, but stop sending me books. I'm not going to read it. But at least with Twitter, you got to get it in and get it out.
That is true. All right, coming up, O.J. Simpson is dead. Set against dying broke. He's shopping his first interview, but will anyone pay his hefty fee? That's next. His story may be inviting, but no one's biting. O.J. Simpson, or to coin a nickname, the Juice, reportedly wants a seven-figure payout for his first post-jail interview, sources tell the New York Post, which is owned by our parent company, Hot Topic. He's asking $3 to $5 million, but ABC, CBS, NBC have all reportedly passed on an interview saying it would violate news division standards. As for Simpson, a source claims, quote, he's got photos from jail with his family and friends. He's got some other stuff, too, that people have never seen before. And this could be a major deal for any network, any show. Ooh. Simpson's lawyer denies the report. Still, if Simpson makes any money, it would be subject to seizure because of the millions owed Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown's families from the civil case. The Goldman's lawyer says due to interest, it's up to $70 million. So, if you actually pay O.J., perhaps you end up really paying them, and that's a good thing. Either way, O.J.'s out of jail, and I, for one, do not think he should go on outnumbered. That is not one lucky guy to be sitting next to on outnumbered. I think it would be a bad thing. Mark?
All right. Do not go
You're a wise man.
Okay, Mark, am I a hypocrite because I would watch the interview, but I wouldn't do the interview? So that validates doing the interview.
Yeah, and you wouldn't pay $5 million, $3 million, $2 million. I mean, I think that ship has, that white Bronco has sailed, I guess. But because the thing about what struck me when he came out of jail was that he got old in jail.
Yeah.
So he doesn't look like he did in Naked Gun 33 1/3 anymore. And he's like, which was like the last thing he did. And I think with celebrities, what you want to know about him is what turned him into the nice guy from those Naked Gun movies and all the rest, who then became a kid. And that's the one thing he's never going to talk about. So why do you want to pay a multi-million-dollar sum to see some old guy who looks vaguely like a guy you remember from 25 years ago showing you a picture of somebody you don't recognize visiting him in prison? What are they getting for the money?
I don't know. Tyrus, let me ask you, is it a good thing if the interview happens, if the money goes to the families?
No, because I would think the families at this point would pass on the money just to be able to have closure and to move on. I think we're all tired of this story, and I don't really care what he did in prison, and I think most Americans should not care either. You know, he's holding on, you know, and here's the thing, $3 million to hear his story, unless you're going to have somewhere in the contract where you get to ask the $1 million question, because that's what the whole interview, it'd be 45 minutes for the final question after 6 commercials to be like, did you do it?
Yes.
And then there'd be a commercial.
Yes.
Then tune in next week for part 2 of this riveting interview of O.J.
Yes.
You know, so let's just, he was acquitted by a jury of his peers. He stole his own stuff back and got, 12 years, something like that. So move on. Let's just move on. Nobody pay that money, because here's what's going to happen. It's going to get cheaper.
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
Get cheaper.
Pretty soon it'll be a reality show on Bravo. It'll be, here's O.J. He'll be sitting around in his boxers.
There'll be a weird Comic-Con where he's at.
Yes, exactly. They'll set him up. Oh, wait, he did that prank show before he went to jail. Pete, here's the thing. There's, I think, a whole generation of people who don't see him the way we see him.
Absolutely.
Because they weren't around when he killed those 2 people.
I'm on the very edge of it. I think I was in junior high when the trial happened. The whole school shut down. Even the teachers turned it on TV, and everyone. It riveted the country. younger people today don't know who he was as an athlete, what he did as a criminal, and how much it captured an entire nation. It certainly wouldn't be appointment television for me. I wouldn't say I'm going to sit down and watch OJ. I feel like if I was Saturday night and I'm lounging on the couch and I happen to stumble upon it, I'm like, this could be interesting.
Go out on Saturday.
That's probably be more interesting.
Well, after 11.
After watching this show.
No reason to watch.
So
by the way, he wrote the book.
If I did.
He did already basically tell us how the story.
You know, Kat, I think that for a long period of time, Twitter and Instagram are going to be full of selfies with OJ because if he's out, no one's going to walk by him and not say, picture? Can I get a picture? So every time you're going on Twitter, there's going to be some joker with their arm around OJ. There were radio DJs flirting with him when he was out. I remember watching that. So people just like stardom and celebrity.
Yeah, they absolutely do. I think that I would say this interview, I don't see the point of it because they'll ask him questions and he'll give answers, but we all know how good he is at telling the truth, right? He'll probably say, well, when I was in prison, I actually taught everybody how to read, and I taught everybody got certified and everything, and I was just so great to everybody. He can't be trusted for anything, and I've seen a lot of documentaries, so even though I wasn't there, I've seen a lot of documentaries.
But are you
and I'm bored. I'm bored with him already.
You know what's interesting? He was so lucky this week that so much bad stuff was going on. He snuck out the back door of a bar while there was a fight going on in the front. You know what I mean? Because there was hurricanes, there was a shooting. He was out. They let him out at midnight.
Is he lucky or is he sad? Because this guy loves the limelight.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think when you're dealing with a sociopath, he wants that attention. That he's going to continue to do things to try to be.
He'll be back.
Yeah,
he'll be back in jail.
And he thinks he's still OJ and he's still loved.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
All right, still to come, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees are in. Will this be the year Menudo finally makes it in? Fingers crossed. Four crazy talented men have been snubbed yet again. The nominations for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's class of 2018 are in, and sadly, the monkeys are nowhere to be found. It's seriously, they're the real Beatles. Instead, the list features a bunch of first-time nominees, including Radiohead. Who are they? Judas Priest, Satanists, Nina Simone, nice lady. The Moody Blues, very depressing. Eurythmics, Dire Straits, Rage Against the Machine, bunch of babies. Rage, rage, rage. Also on the ballot, Bon Jovi, terrible haircuts. LL Cool J, like him. The Cars, love the Cars. Jay Gallsman, not bad. And Depeche Mode. Depeche Mode. Anyway, to be eligible, an artist's first single or album had to be released in 1992 or earlier. Guess that eliminates my favorite artist.
I thought I saw a pussycat. I thought I saw a pussycat. I know I saw a pussycat. I did. I saw a pussycat. I did.
That is from Mark's album.
Yeah. Grammy Hall of Fame. I feel we're in with a shot at that one. Yeah.
You're not nominated. What do you make of this whole thing? Do you think there should be a Hall of Fame for something that's just 50 years old?
No, I don't. I've never liked the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because it should be the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It should be apostrophe and apostrophe. I've never liked
the and.
I've never liked, and it has. This was astonishing to me. It receives federal subsidies.
No.
It's like Harry Reid's Cowboy Poetry Festival in Nevada, and you think, well, there's not a lot of big bucks in cowboy poetry. Toss the cowboy poets a couple of bucks every now and then. If rock and roll isn't profitable, nothing is. It's like if you said to me, have you checked out the new bondage dungeon on 23rd Street? It's really great since the federal grant money came through. I mean... What's the point? I mean, if rock and roll's not profitable, what's the point of it?
By the way, I wouldn't want them to improve that dungeon. I like the dirty, messy nature of it. Kat, you probably weren't even born when most of these acts were around. What are your thoughts?
Well, seeing as it's about fame and not talent, I think that Radiohead is definitely going to get in and should get in.
Ooh.
I don't even like them, but the kind of guys that I like have to be three things: strange, malnourished, and sad. And those guys always like Radiohead, so I have been having to pretend pretend to like Radiohead for years to get these men, even though the music is just like elaborate moaning and whining over ringtone sounds. And you know what? If that's not fame and power that will get me to do that for someone else, then I don't know what is.
You should date men. You should date men who like musicals. I'm telling you, safe bet. Safe bet.
No, it's certainly not.
Pete, anybody in there you like? Anybody not on the list that should be?
Is LL Cool J rock and roll?
Well, yeah. I mean, he's part of it. I mean, I would say hip hop.
Is hip hop rock and roll?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Music.
I think so.
It's everything. Nina Simone is.
So the roll part is everything other than rock?
But rock and roll came. Well, they're all the same.
Isn't rock and roll not supposed to care about fame too?
That is true.
Are they supposed to be like, look at me, look how tight my pants are. I'm just gonna rock. Screw you. I don't care. That's what I thought it was about.
Last word. Okay.
No, actually, a guy from Judas Priest hit. When you were saying cat, I like show tunes. When you're saying you should date someone who likes show tunes, it's not looking promising. And the guy from Judas Priest,
Rob Halford,
he hit on me many years ago.
Really?
Yeah. And so this is the insanity of the world today. A gay heavy metal guy hits on a heterosexual show tunes guy. I mean, I didn't mind. I could have handled the sex, but the music is just so stupid.
All right, Tyrus. I don't know. Say whatever you want.
Trying to get my mind all around that, I'll just say, enough said.
All right, don't go anywhere. Tyrus hits D.C. to be White House press secretary for a day. The shocking tape next. Hey, on the 5 at 5 p.m. Eastern, we're running out of time, so...
What you've wanted to say all show, but haven't had the chance to say, so here's your chance to say it. Right now.
Tyrus?
Duh. Now, hey, check it out. I got a chance to go to Washington and show you how to handle the press the right way. So check it out. What it is. Okay, let's keep this quick. I got a busy weekend. Me, Greg, and Kat are going on our weekly trip to Dave & Buster's after this.
Doesn't that distract from the things that you are trying to accomplish this week?
Have you been to Dave & Buster's? It's amazing. Besides, it's how we prep for the show, and if it ain't broke.
Can you explain how that's helpful to that effort?
Bro, it's an arcade where they also serve steak. Plus, last Sunday, Kat Timpf won a 6-foot teddy bear in the skee-ball tournament.
Has the president called yet to congratulate her on her win?
Well, it's not a big deal. It's just a game.
Why not yet? I mean, she won on Sunday. Is there a particular reason why he hasn't called yet?
Yeah, because it's skee-ball, not the Nobel Peace Prize. Damn. Look, the point is Dave & Buster's is incredible. It's got skee-ball, Pop-A-Shot, Pac-Man. Why aren't you writing this down? Thank you. Like I was saying, it's got the claw game, air hockey, dance revolution, and rumor has it, they might get a Lou Dobbs pinball machine.
Can you give us some sense of what that's going to be and what that's going to look like?
I mean, yeah, it's Lou frickin' Dobbs. It's going to be frickin' awesome.
Will you let us know?
Hell yeah, Hallie, I'll let you know.
And then my other question, too, I just want to suss out...
Whoa, Hallie. You just used your one question to ask about Lou Dobbs pinball. Anyway, I'm out. Hashtag Pop-A-Shot King bowling.
Thanks to Mark Stein, Pete Hegseth, Catherine, Tyrus, our studio audience. I'm Greg Gutfeld, and I love you, America.